I've decided that I'm just going to start gaslighting people and telling them that I'm actually skinny. I'm not fat. What, you think I'm fat? What? No, I'm actually skinny. Are you sure you're not fat? Because me, skinny.
Hey everybody, it's Tony with Big T Bariatric and I'm back at you with another video. Today it is Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you could do me a huge favor, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you think about this video. I greatly appreciate it. So today we're talking about the one, the only, the Tess Holliday. And I know there are a lot of people out there that cover her, but I myself have made like 1 or 2 videos of her in my channel's entire existence. So I really think it's time for me to sit down and have a conversation and tell Tess Holliday exactly what I think about her insane fat acceptance views.
I'm an idiot! You're an idiot!
And what they're doing to harm people. If there's anybody out there with the massive following, it's her. And so she's the one who's dragging along all these other young people who think it's okay to be fat because she's a model and she has millions of followers and she's popular and she has all this money and can do things. And you know, it's like a lot of these other fat activists are following in her footsteps. They see her doing the things that they want to be doing. And so that's why they're putting themselves out there and saying there's nothing wrong with being fat. And so she is really the boss mode, right? Like if we were playing a video game right now and we got all the way to the end and we were facing the boss. It's like, that's Tess Holliday. Like, we are facing the boss here, and we're going to tell her exactly how insane her views are. So let's kind of get right into it right now.
I get this comment a lot, so let's address it. You're right. I do eat. And sometimes I eat a lot. And sometimes, like today, I don't. Would your interpretation of me and my perceived health still be the same if you didn't have that information? Would you still think that I was lying to you by looking at me based on the information that I just gave you? What if I told you that I hadn't eaten more than 1 meal in the last 3 days? Mostly this time because of heartbreak and less because of an eating disorder. Would you believe me then? Or maybe, just maybe, it's impossible to look at someone and tell whether or not they're struggling with an eating disorder or if they're healthy. And more importantly, whether either of those two things are any of your business or concern. I share what I choose on social media, and I always have. And some of it you're not going to like or understand. And I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for those that need to see it, that need to hear it. The internet is a big place, and there are going to be plenty of people that you can follow that suit your fancy.
No, Tess Holliday, I would not believe you. I just wouldn't. Because you're not somebody that I would look at and see, okay, well, you've been putting out all these videos for a long period of time and you haven't lost any weight. You've actually gained weight. You've gotten bigger. How is that possible? How are you having all this abundance of energy stored on your body, but you're not eating frequently? I mean, I would totally understand if somebody looked at me and said, Big T, you are eating too much food. You're very fat. You have a lot of weight on you. Well, there's a reason for that, because in my past, I ate a lot of food, and so I gained a lot of weight. But now looking at me, you might look at me and say the same thing if you didn't know me, if you didn't watch my channel, if you didn't see the struggle that I went through, if you didn't see my first few videos compared to my last few videos. Hi, everybody. My name is Tony, and this is my very first YouTube video. And seeing the weight loss on my face. So all of you who have been watching me for any period of time knows that I've been consistently losing weight, which means I've consistently been in a caloric deficit. So you can tell how I'm doing. But if you look at Tess Holliday, she has not been losing weight. So how is she going to try to convince everybody that no, she doesn't eat a lot of food? There are some days when I do and there's some days when I don't. Well, does that just even out and so you're just staying static right now? I don't understand what you're saying here. But by looking at you, yeah, I can determine that you are not very healthy right now. That yes, you are eating an overabundance of food. No, you are not losing weight. And trying to tell people otherwise is just insane. Again, you are lying to yourself and you're lying to all your followers about how much food that you really eat. And I'm not saying you don't have moments of heartbreak where you're just not eating a lot of food. I've been there. I mean, right after my dad died, I did have a period of time where I wasn't eating a lot of food and I was losing a lot of weight. But then in order for me to kind of cope with my father's death, I did end up binging and eating a ton of food. Like, that's how I coped with it. And then I continued to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I gained hundreds of pounds. So by looking at me and watching me through that period of time, people could rightfully assume that I was not doing well mentally, that I was eating a lot of food, that I was overdoing it. So yeah, you can look at somebody and see that they're overweight and see that they are, yes, eating way too much food. On the flip side, you could see somebody who's skinny, whose rib bones are poking out and everything else, and also assume that they are not eating a lot of food. Why would you assume otherwise? They are clearly very, very skinny and not healthy. So yeah, there's a very limited space where we can consider somebody healthy. But if you have a stomach and you got all these arm flabs and everything else, or if you're just super skinny that your bones are poking out and you don't look too healthy, like, yeah, we can make that determination that you're probably not in a healthy frame of mind, that you're not eating well. Either way, if you're not eating enough or you're eating way too much, that's very determinable. But if we could tell that you're healthy, then yeah, we know that you're probably eating a standard amount of calories, that you're probably working out. If you have muscle mass, yeah, you are working out. You are doing what you can do. So yeah, it's very possible to look at somebody and make the determination of what they're doing, how much they're eating, whether they're overdoing it or underdoing it. So stop lying to us, Tess.
There's been so much discourse on TikTok, especially recently, about fat bodies and weight loss, but also when is there ever a break from those things when it comes to fat bodies? But I digress. And I think the thing that is hardest for me is not when people lose weight. I think that if anyone wants to lose weight, they absolutely should. And great on them. I have no issue with people losing weight. My issue comes when people lose weight and forget to honor what their fat body has done for them. The ways that their fat body has carried them through life. You lose the weight, but why do you lose the love and respect for who you are as a whole? I'm not saying if you lose weight that you're still a fat person, but you're still the same person. You might have changed, but that fat body, that was you. That is you. And that's okay. There's nothing to be ashamed about. There's nothing to be ashamed about. You have a choice when talking about your weight loss to not dehumanize your fat body, because it dehumanizes fat folks.
Honoring what my fat body did for me? Are you serious, Tess? What positive thing has being overweight done for my body? Nothing good came of this. It destroyed my entire life. That's why I'm fighting so hard right now. It destroyed my knees and my back and my neck. It destroyed me mentally and physically in every single way. It prevented me from getting a job, from finding a girlfriend and getting married, from having kids. It destroyed everything about my life. There's not one positive thing that I can say came from having a fat body. And that's why I'm fighting like hell right now to reverse the effects of it before it's too late. I could still die from my obesity. I could still have a heart attack. Like, I'm not done fighting this battle yet. Just because I've lost 200 pounds does not mean I'm finished. I have a long, long way to go, and I'm going to get there. I'm going to fight harder than I've ever fought before, because now I'm more active. Now I can do things I couldn't do before. The relief came after I started losing weight. The relief came when I was able to start doing things and helping out around the house and taking the garbage out, when I was able to find a job. And now women are starting to find me more attractive now, which I think is great. I still haven't met that person yet who has fallen for me, but maybe one day soon that'll happen. But yeah, I mean, honoring what my fat body's done for me, you have no clue. I don't understand how you do not realize the consequences of your obesity yet. Maybe they haven't hit you that hard. Maybe you've been lucky enough to skirt by some of it, but I know you're dealing with something. I know you're dealing with some kind of pain, or you're out of breath or something. But what do you have to honor your fat body for? Maybe for her, her fat body allowed her to become a model and make millions of dollars and have millions of followers. So for her, it's a positive thing. But that positive right now is outweighing, pardon the pun, it's outweighing the negative that it brings to her in her life. So she stays fat because she has to, right? Like, she has to stay fat. That's her whole spiel. That's why she's rich and popular right now.
Fine. Here you go. Because this is what it's all about, right? Motherfucking money. Here.
And if she decided to lose weight, well, she's no different than Hungry Fat Chick, because if she lost weight, then she would lose her money, she would lose her followers, and that she would ultimately become a hypocrite. So that's why she stays fat. That's the positive her fat has brought her. But at the end of the day, her life is not worth all that money and fame and fortune. It's just not worth it. Hopefully she comes to that realization before something bad happens, before the worst happens. Because I don't want to have to make that video, Tess Holliday dies. Like, I don't want to make that video. But if she keeps going the way she is, I'm going to have to do it, sadly.
You know, as wild and as loud as folks are about me being wrong and spewing misinformation, I just want to know where I told people not to eat their fruits and vegetables. Literally, it takes 2 seconds to Google what I have pulled up right here, talking about why you need carbs, proteins, and fat. Also, what's that say? The 3 main nutrients in a balanced diet are... How dare a fat woman who actually lives in her body and experiences her disordered eating every single day know anything about diets and what we, quote, should and shouldn't put into our bodies. Because I can guarantee I know a lot fucking more than you. Also, I'm not telling anyone how to eat. It's actually the opposite. So I'm going to say it again because some of y'all missed it. Body doesn't have prejudice with food.
Some of you may not understand why I grabbed this clip, but I grabbed it because it proves she doesn't understand it. She doesn't understand it at all. How can a fat person who lives in her fat body and experiences her disordered eating every single day know anything about diets? Well, you just proved that living in a fat body, you know nothing about diets. You know nothing about what you should be eating. You wouldn't be so caught up in the fat positivity movement if you knew anything about what a healthy diet is. You're probably just like many of the others who think,
oh, I eat vegan, so I eat pretty healthy.
Like, really? Just because you eat vegan doesn't mean you're eating healthy. There are all kinds of terrible eaters out there who think they're doing the right thing, who think they know what they're eating, but clearly they don't because they keep gaining weight and they keep getting bigger and bigger. Just because you're big, just because you live in a fat body and you have disordered eating doesn't mean you know squat about dieting, because it's clear you know absolutely nothing about it.
You know nothing.
Because if you did, if you knew what you should be eating, you wouldn't be eating that and you wouldn't be as big as you are today. That's just the reality of it. So stop being a hypocrite, Tess. Maybe you should look into real research that talks about what you really should be eating.
I'm sure many in the room know that with weight discrimination, we see this showing up in schools, with downgrading by teachers, with admission to college. We see it in the workplace, people in larger bodies not being hired, not getting promoted, getting lower salaries.
Tess, after hearing the research from RIM, as somebody who's navigated the beauty and modeling industries for quite a while, how has this shown up in your career?
Well, I don't think that there's any surprise that we have been affected in the plus size modeling industry and as she was sharing overall by deep issues that are rooted in racism. I mean, the fact that folks despise larger bodied individuals roots back to racism. It all roots back to racism. And until the country actually addresses the violence that, frankly, white supremacists and white folks are causing to people of color and the systems that uphold those, it's going to continue to happen. And those numbers are shocking, but it's not a surprise. I mean, it's not been very popular to come out and talk about having my type of eating disorder publicly. It's impacted my career. It's impacted so many things, and it's not a popular thing to talk about. But then going back to what she's saying, folks of color have been saying all of these things. It's just no one was listening. So I really hope that we are moving towards a future where folks listen to people of color and actually take them seriously and actually put change into place that helps and supports all of us.
What in the blue hell are you talking about, Tess? You're connecting white supremacy and violence against black people with fatphobia? Like what are you doing here?
It's in your blood.
That's racist.
Your soul.
That's racist.
Your eyes.
That's gay.
That's homophobic.
That's black.
That's racist.
Damn.
You're a white woman on stage talking about the violence black people face and how it's connected to fatphobia and talking about how people treat fat people. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. Because I'm a white man who, yeah, I have, and I've talked about this before, experienced some discrimination. I was not allowed to get jobs that I wanted or things like that. But that rightfully happened because I was not able to physically handle a job that I was trying to go out for. So they rightfully passed on me. Like, that happens. That has nothing to do with racism whatsoever. How is a white man who's a manager racist when they tell another white man that, I'm sorry, we don't think that you're fit for this role because you couldn't perform the duties of this role? Like, how is that connected to racism at all? What I really think is the racist part of this argument is that you think all black people are fat. Because that's essentially what you're talking about. Like, because, and I kind of covered this in the last video where there was somebody who said that, you know, because we hate fat people, because we hate black people. It's like, what? One, we're not going around hating fat people because we're saying that it's healthier to not be fat. That's not hatred. But we also don't say it because we hate black people. Like, that doesn't compute to me. I don't understand this whole argument. I'm a white guy who wants to lose weight to save my own life. I'm out here trying to warn other people about the dangers of obesity. There's absolutely nothing to do with racism in this whole conversation, nothing. And I've had many, many people comment who are people of color and literally tell me, Big T, I really hate this argument. It's the worst argument I've ever heard in my life. Because you're calling all black people fat or something. I don't understand it. It's just the worst argument that I've ever heard, and it's mostly fat white women who are out there spouting the nonsense, trying to connect it to racism so that, oh, poor me, I'm a victim too. Even though most of Americans are fat, I'm in a marginalized minority group. Please give me support. Like, I don't understand this argument at all. But Tess Holliday, she just has no idea what she's talking about. She has no idea. She's trying to talk about how she knows this and that, and she knows heck of a lot more about diets, and she's trying to throw racism in there just so she can continue being fat. And one day she's going to get to a point where she realizes that she made a huge mistake. Her fatness is going to backfire on her, and the consequences of her actions, they're going to destroy her life. And she's going to have to make a decision. Do I want to get healthy now and lose this weight to save my life? Or am I just going to die because I like the money and the popularity more than my own health? Because that's what she's doing right now. She is putting money and fame ahead of her own health. But anyways, that's my video today, guys. I love you guys very, very much. I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. God bless you.